Yun. Hello, good afternoon everyone. Grabe, mukhang inaabangan nyo pa rin talaga tong third day natin because we already have like 20 viewers. Agad-agad. 20 viewers agad-agad. Grabe kayo. So yun. So yesterday we had Seller Gateway with their two dropshippers, Miss Cathy and Miss Marife. I really hope marami kayong natutunan sa kanilang dalawa plus with Sir Jeremy. So yan. And today we are very honored that napagbigyan tayo ng isa pang dropshipping company, 'di ba, to discuss what are their services and what their offer, ano yung pwede nila i-offer sa atin, ganyan. And hindi spokesperson, hindi lang basta marketing executive ang na-invite natin, but yung CEO mismo nila. And guys, medyo English only policy tayo ngayon. So, mapapalaban tayo ng English. But, guys, of course, kahit na English yung session natin today, still ask questions. Okay lang yan. Kahit Tagalog yan, try natin i-translate. Yes, may Google Translate naman. So, we're just going to translate na lang, diba? So, yeah, just ask questions and let's try to answer all your those questions, diba? So, yes, sabi ni Jordy, answer Jordy, Suki yan, present since day one, Google Translate on. Hello, SFE fam. Yes, so yan. Thank you, Sir Jordy, for always watching. So, I really hope, no, itong dropshipping series natin, maraming kayo natututunan since day one. We had Rapify, yun nga, Seller Gateway yesterday. So, sabi nga natin, the reason why we're doing this is, to show you that maraming dropshipping companies ngayon sa Pilipinas. 'Di ba? Baka kasi ang akala nyo lang, kung ano lang yung kilala nyo, yun lang. But actually, madami pa. Hindi lang yun yung mga pine-present natin dito sa Dropshipping Series, but there's a lot more. But the reason why I'm sharing you these companies, it's because na-try ko sila personally. So, kilala nyo naman ako. I'm not really recommending or, encouraging to join such parang company if hindi ako sure na okay siya. But of course, iba kasi yung pwede nyo maging journey sa naging journey ko. But more or less, by sharing you my experiences, somehow I can tell you that you will be in good hands. But, of course, you will create your own journey. Diba? So, yan. Guys, comment naman kayo kung taga saan kayo nanonood ngayon. So, we already have 43 viewers. So, sa 43 viewers na yan, hello. Ayan. And yung na-invite natin today na dropshipping company, actually, konti pa lang talaga yung nakakakilala sa kanila, sa dropshipping company na to. That's why I really want you to know more about this dropshipping company and ano yung mga pwede nilang i-offer para makahelp sa atin. So, yan. Yan, from Miss Weng de Guzman. Hi, Coach Trixie. We appreciate po itong ginagawa nyo sa na presenting to us, especially kami mga bago sa e-com. Congratulations po and sana i-bless ka pa more nilo. Thank you po. Yun naman po talaga yung mission natin, to really help people start their e-commerce journey. I really know mahirap talaga, mahirap. Pag-decide pa lang mahirap. That's why we are presenting you all these options and then choose. Diba? So, yan. We also have Miss Janine from Imus. Ayan. And si Dami from Paranaque. Ayan. And si Miss Maray, present since day one. Ngayon lang mag-iingay. Yan. Sige, Miss Maray. Thank you for watching and for tuning in since day one. Okay. So, hindi ko na patatagalin pa. Okay. Medyo hinga muna ako kasi mag-English na tayo. But it's okay. It's okay. So, ayan. So, itong guest natin today, actually, matagal na rin naman sila, but itong dropshipping nila, bago ko lang din na-try because they just integrated with Lazada din. Alam nyo naman, Lazada seller tayo, di ba? But they've been in the business, but with yung services nila, yung dropshipping is with Shopify. They're using Shopify platform. But I will let him, I'll tell you more about that. So let me introduce to you and let us all welcome Darwin Bustillo from Inspire Dropshipping. Hi, Darwin.
Hey, Trixie. Hello, six-figure community, and I believe we're also in Smartpreneurs also group.
Yes.
So hopefully all of you guys have been doing well. It is a pleasure to be finally, speaking to all of you guys and just having an opportunity to talk drop shipping, which I think it's all of us favorite topic and conversation for the most part. I think, but it's good to be here, Trixie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. I know you're very busy, but when I ask you if we can invite you inside SFE, you just really said yes. Though I had a heart attack when you were like joking, like what webinar?
Yeah, listen, I almost forgot about this, and I I did want to give you a hard time, and like I told you yesterday, you can blame Miss Pauso for that, but yeah, like I mentioned to you earlier as well. Listen,
Yeah.
you asked for it, we're gonna make it happen. There's no questions about it, and again, I'm glad to be here. So
Yeah, thank you, Darwin. So later, tell us more about Inspire Dropshipping. But yeah, so you're not the only one who invited for this session. So let me introduce one of your dropshipper.
mm.
So let's all welcome Sir June Lau. Hi, Sir June. Nakamute ka. You're on mute.
Hi everyone. Hi Coach Trixie. Hi
Hi.
Darwin.
What's going on, man?
Yeah. And so you want to greet our viewers? We have 53 viewers. Yan. I think Surgeon says hi to all of you.
Yeah,
Hi. I didn't hear that.
it
Hi
was a men-
everyone. Hi all the viewers.
it
Hi
was a
all
mental
the
hello.
50 listeners today.
Yes, yes. So there. So there you go. So thank you, Sir June, also for saying yes for this webinar. Guys, Sir June is like saying, Coach, are you sure you want to invite me? I'm just a newbie. I might not share a lot of things, but I really believe that even you are a newbie, you got a lot of things to share. It doesn't matter if you are already earning or I your journey is unique. So there's a lot of things you can share. So there. Okay, so let's start the session. Darwin
Mm.
first. So Darwin, I think most people, this is the first time they heard about Inspire Dropshipping. So, but first we want to know more about you. So, who's Darwin Bustillo? So,
All
and
right,
what's the
so
background? Yeah.
All right, so I guess for the people that are still debating whether if I am Pinoy or not, I guess I'll just remove that curiosity. I may look like one. It's very common. Most people confuse me, but as soon as they hear me speak, they're like, okay, yeah, he's definitely not Filipino. So I'm actually from Honduras. That's where I was born, and I was raised in the U.S. Pretty much my whole life. Now, in 2015, I was given the opportunity to come to the Philippines and open up a call center, which that's really where my backbone and my backstory really starts, within the corporate space. So in 2015, we came here, we started a third party collection agency. And over the course of those years, my whole, like everything in my life was surrounding how to make this call center grow, and how to build this company, which was, from scratch pretty much. And, we took a company from a handful of people to over 350 people within the time that I was there. And after a few years, Trixie, I was happy with where I was in my life. I had a very good paying job. We built an amazing company. We were venturing out into different countries, which was great, but I wasn't satisfied. Like there was a certain craving that I had. There was an entrepreneur thirst that I was craving for. Like I wanted something more than just managing a company, which, granted, for some people, that's the dream of kind of climbing the corporate ladder, right? And having a high position within a company, it's an amazing dream to have, but it's just not something that really was what I was looking for in the long term, in the long haul. So I started to kind of venture out into, well, what is it that I can do from a business perspective to kind of separate myself from the company and just build my own empire per se, or my own, journey and process. So I looked into different markets, from affiliate marketing. That was one of the areas that it piqued a little interest when I first started. I was like, okay, this seems interesting. I looked into real estate, which I eventually got into, buying condominiums and things of that sort. But that doesn't also give me that satisfaction of managing a company daily, which that's what I'm accustomed to, right? Like I'm an operations guy. Like I'm accustomed to being in the grind. I'm accustomed to, rolling up the sleeves, getting my hands dirty. And unfortunately, the real estate business, doesn't provide you that, because once you buy a property, it's there, you lease it, and you have money coming in, but it doesn't kind of like give you that excitement. And as I mentioned in previous webinars that I've had, and I'm sure people have heard of this before, but I kind of stumbled across a video of drop shipping. And it was this guy called Bia Heza. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of him. It's a young kid that he did drop shipping internationally for the US. And like immediately, as soon as once I got done watching that video, I was just kind of hooked. Like it was just like whoa, like what? Like I had to take a step back and be like, I can sell items that I don't have. I don't have to worry about renting a warehouse and packing and doing all of this. So I fell in love with the concept. And my first swipe at the dropshipping business was in the international market, which was in 2019. So this was about 4 years from the time of arrival in the Philippines, right? So I came in 2015, and in 2019, I was ready for something else. And then I came across the dropshipping business model. I gave it a shot in the international market after about a week of learning how it worked. And I failed, like it was bad. It was really, really bad. And then I realized, like, man, this is not as easy as like the gurus on YouTube and how like everybody just always presents it as like this is an easy thing to do. Like just build a store, run some ads, and you're gonna become a millionaire overnight. I quickly realized, yeah, that's definitely not the case. And like at that point, I was just kind of in love with the concept, and I wasn't gonna stop until I figured things out. And then I realized that I can do it, in the Philippines, and then I started to do that. And I was a drop shipper first, right? So my journey wasn't starting a drop shipping company first. My journey was drop shipping myself, right? And going through that process and journey of and really kind of looking at that side of the spectrum of, okay, well, how does this work? And I was blessed to have great success in it within the local market in Shopify, though, not Lazada and not in Shopee. It was through Shopify. And I started to see amazing results, just mind-blowing results that made me realize that, okay, listen, I'm going to have to like either leave my job because like there's just more money in the drop shipping space, for me at least. And so I was kind of in that dilemma. But then I kind of looked at the landscape. Like I saw the market, and this was in 2020 when my thought of starting a drop shipping company really began. Like I looked at the landscape and I started to see, okay, well, there's a huge opportunity in the space when it comes to a service, like a company that provides everything that I was looking for, from a drop shipper, right? Like I hadn't found it, I didn't see anything that really matched everything that I needed and that I thought that a drop shipper needed, which is when I decided to, I'm like, you know what? I have the resources, which I'm thankful for. I'm doing good in drop shipping, but why not create a service that, becomes a beneficial situation for myself, but also the user, also the drop shipper, right? How do I merge that into providing something that I feel happy and great about, and that's great in my eyes, right? And that's when I started Inspire. And as you mentioned, we started in Shopify. that
Mm-mm.
really were, and that's, we have a huge presence within the Shopify space. But then I also, once we kind of figured that out, and everything was kind of automated in a sense, then I looked at the landscape of Lazada and Shopee, which, we just started about 3 weeks ago. So, my journey has been a long one, but for most people, I come from the corporate space. It was just me trying to figure things out and realize what it is that I wanted to do. And me understanding that the corporate world wasn't what I was looking for. And I kind of ventured off into this space. And, I've been blessed over the course of the past year to have found success and build a company that has very high promise and really just something to look forward to daily and just kind of work towards it.
Wow, thank you, Darwin. And I guess that's the reason why you put up Inspire Dropshipping based on your own pain points as a dropshipper,
Correct.
right? So I think most of our viewers now wants to know more about Inspire Dropshipping. Like,
Mhm.
is Inspire Dropshipping a manual or automated dropshipping? How does Inspire Dropshipping differs from other dropshipping that we are, that is known in the market right now? So
So
there.
there's two elements. To answer your question, it's automated, but it's also manual. So what the hell does that mean? So it's automated in the Shopify's perspective, right? Because that's really
Mm-mm.
where we started over a year ago. We focused solely on Shopify. So we built an application that if you're a Shopify user or if you're inclining to go into the Shopify direction, we're currently the only ones that have an actual app in Shopify in the Philippines that's fully automated. Started to focus on that, and we built an app. And from Shopify's perspective, everything is automated. From when you build a store, you get to download the app in the app store, right? If you guys are
Yeah.
not familiar, it's similarly to like the Google store or the Apple store. You search Inspire, you see the app, you download it, and you sign off to the terms and agreements. And once you have products, you have a website, which if you don't know, in Shopify you need a website. Okay, so you just simply transfer products from our platform to your website, and once you get an order, there's nothing that you need to do. Everything is pretty automated. Now, from the Lazada standpoint, that is not the case at the moment. It's still, we're kind of like on the manual process because we've only been up for about 3 weeks. So when I say manual, that means that you don't grab a product and you don't click it and it doesn't automatically go to your store like it is in Shopify. So what happens in Lazada and Shopee is you grab items that you want to sell and you transfer them into a file that our team transfers to your store. So from the dropshipper's perspective, it is kind of automated because they don't have to do anything. But from our perspective, it's not automated because there's a person that has to grab this batch of products and then upload them into your store. So in reality, it's not an automated process as of yet. And that same thing when an order comes in, right? When an order comes in, depending on the package that you have, if you pay for us to do it, we grab your orders from your seller center and then we transfer them over to our platform and we take care of the full fulfillment for you, right? So in that sense, it's not automated, but from the dropshipper's perspective of, do I have to touch the product? Do I have to buy the product? Do I have to warehouse the product? All of that, if that's considered automated, then obviously yes. But the goal is by the end of this year is to have the same process as we have with Shopify, which
Mm.
is just to create a fully automated process across the board.
Mm.
But again, that is the goal by the end of December, to just kind of replicate what we've done with Shopify to Lazada
Mm.
and Shopee. So hopefully that provides you some perspective
Yeah.
for the differences of platforms and
Yes.
just the things that we do.
Okay, so guys, Darwin mentioned that if you want to subscribe, right? There's also a subscription fee,
Hmm.
right, Darwin?
Yep.
So how much is that again?
So for Shopify, it's 19.99 because Shopify charges you on a dollar currency. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't convert that into pesos. So if you're a Shopify user, that's 19.99 on a monthly basis. Okay.
Okay.
And you pay 75 pesos for us to pick, pack, and ship the item. So it's subscription plus a handling fee on a per product or on a per order basis, right?
For Shopify. Guys, for Shopify,
For
okay?
Shopify.
Okay.
Exactly. For Shopify. People get confused with Shopee and Shopify.
Exactly. Yes.
And I'll tell you a story later, which is quite funny. But when it comes to Shopee and Shopify, but yeah, so for Shopify, it's 19.99 with 75 pesos per order. For Lazada and Shopee, we do have two subscription models, which one is 6,999. Okay, and that's self-order processing, which is like what I just talked to you about a few minutes back, that when
Yes.
you get orders from your seller center, you grab those orders and you literally just copy paste the information and you paste it in our system, and then we take care of everything else.
Yes.
So that's 6,099. But if you want to do automated processing per se, and you don't want to be involved in the daily like process of grabbing orders and transfer them to your store, then you pay 7,999, and our team does that for you throughout the day. So as orders comes in, by the end of the day, all those orders for that day will be transferred to our platform, so our team can pick, pack, and obviously ship it out to your customer.
See, great. So there you go, guys. So there, you can choose if you want to go with Shopify or Lazada and Shopee.
Mhm.
Okay, and like our guest yesterday, with Inspire, you can also choose the products you want to sell. So, is there any limit in the items that we can choose?
So, and this is really one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to dive into this market, Trixie, because for me, right, and I have great respect for the CEOs of the other company, like, Billy's Benta. I have, high regards for Chester, Carlo from Seller Gateway, which was the last, company that my
Yes.
highest regard for Carlo, right? Like, tremendous respect. But I saw that there was like a gap between what I fell in love with
Mm,
versus what the market actually provided as a service,
mm,
right? When it comes to Lazada and Shopee, meaning everything was always like catalogs or like SKUs. Like if you pay a subscription, you get XYZ SKUs.
mm,
Or if like some of the other dropshipping companies, if you pay a monthly subscription, you get access to this catalog, which at the beginning didn't make sense to me. I'm like, hold up, that's not what I understood drop shipping, right? Like that's not, when I watched that YouTube video in 2019, that's not what I saw. Like I saw a drop shipper being able to sell whatever it is that they wanted, right? Or whatever
mm,
was available within AliExpress, right? Which is really
mm,
like the main hub of drop shippers in the international market. Now they have a bunch of platforms like Spocket and CJ Dropshipping and so many other different ways for you to kind of navigate it. But at the beginning, it was really just AliExpress, and that's really what I fell in love with and what I thought dropshipping was. So when I started like hearing about these companies and their business model, I respect it because everybody has their different way of running their company. But I wasn't fascinated with it, and I told myself, well, I want to be able to break that mold. I
mm,
want to really be a company that doesn't give you the restrictions on SKUs. If we have it in our warehouse, you can sell it for whichever subscription you go with, whether it's the 699 or the 799, right? So there is no limit in SKUs when it comes to our service, and it's not broken down into catalogs, right?
mm,
So if you want to sell baby products, great. If you want to sell home products, amazing. If you want to sell car items, go for it. You know, which again, it falls back to what I learned drop shipping to be. And that's really what I want to make sure that gets emphasized in the Philippine market and really be the first company to break this mold. And I think other companies will eventually follow and make this the norm across the board and just kind of
mm.
move away from this catalog. But yeah, there is no limit and there's no catalogs. It's just if it's in our warehouse, you can sell it.
Wow. So if you have 500 items, we can put it all in our store.
I have users and partners that for Lazada and Shopee that they literally just transferred every item.
Okay,
And just,
okay.
so yeah.
So if I just want 10 SKUs only, then I can just put 10, or yeah, I can put everything, right?
Everything that's within our platform, you'll be able to have it in your store if you so choose. So I don't
Wow.
recommend that. From
True.
experience, like conversations that I've had with certain coaches,
Yes.
that's not the most ideal way of doing it, but the option is there if you want to do
Mm-mm.
it. Like, it's really up to the drop shipper.
Yes. Thank you, Darwin. And actually, guys, if you watch our session yesterday, one of the dropshippers also mentioned that it's not really on the quantity, it's on the quality of the products and the
Hmm.
SKU that you're going to put on your stores. So if you remember what Miss Marife said when I asked her if did she like a doubt, like she only allowed to have 30 SKUs in her store, and she said no, as long it's as long as the SKUs are the products that my target market needs, then it doesn't matter. That's what
Correct.
she said. Okay, thank you, Darwin. So maybe our viewers are now really excited, and they're saying like nice and yeah, unlimited. Unlimited, medyo naumay sa product, so they're like saying it's unlimited and you got a lot of choice, so you can edit
Hmm.
all you want. Yeah, quality versus quantity. Yeah, I
Hmm.
always believe on that. There. So there you go. So I think most of our viewers now wants to know more about Sir June. So Sir June, before entering drop shipping, um, what are you doing? Like, are you still working or just staying home? And why did you choose to do drop shipping with Inspire?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So before engaging myself in dropshipping, I was also working in corporate, and then
Mm,
I left that company last June 1 because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So after I left that company, I tried to search for videos on YouTube to find business ideas. Then I bumped into e-commerce, Lazada, and dropshipping. That's the first time that I heard about dropshipping. So when I found out what dropshipping is all about, I searched for more videos until I joined a dropshipping company. It was not Inspire yet at that time because they were not operational yet for Lazada. So I
mm,
joined another dropshipping company back in June, towards the end of June. And then until now, I'm still a subscriber of that dropshipping company. But I guess like a number of dropshippers out there, I'm one of those dropshippers who are struggling to make money out of dropshipping, especially in that company.
mm.
So I've been there for like 3 to 4 months already, and until now, my profit in dropshipping is not yet enough to cover
Subscription.
my subscription, right? And then this September, I was watching Trixie's live. She introduced us to Inspire, and then that's when I found out what Inspire is. Now, one of the things that I think was the reason for not making money in the other dropshipping companies, because I think the market's already saturated. There were a lot of dropshippers already out there, and that
Mm-mm.
um, I'm competing against veteran dropshippers who have, their stores. When you look at their stores, they have 5,000 followers. They've sold
Mm.
1,000 units. Now, when I found out about Inspire and I found out that it has just started it will start its operation, especially for the Lazada and the Shopee platform. I said, why not try this? Why not try it this time? It's new.
Mm-mm.
Probably there's
Mm-mm.
still not a lot of drop shippers or subscribers with Inspire. So that was one of the primary reasons. And then the other reason is I think it's because it's perfect timing. Because now it's September, I want to take advantage of the peak season in November and December. So if I
Mm.
wanted to take advantage of that, I have to start now. So that's
Mm-mm.
another reason. And then the third one is when I look into their catalog, um, for some of the items, their pricing is really competitive. The others, it's not, but the others, they are competitive. And
Mm-mm.
also, when you look at their catalog, their products, they're quite unique. They have special features. Like for example, in my other dropshipping company, if I were selling bed sheet if I tell my friends I'm selling bedsheet, they understand what I'm selling, right? They know a bedsheet is a bedsheet, nothing more. Now with Inspire, if you are selling a mug, it's not a mug. It has another feature. It's a
Yeah.
mug coupled with another feature which you can't find anywhere, can't find in a mall or anywhere. So they have unique features, value proposition for their products, which I think is important for you to stand out in Lazada. So those are the three reasons why I decided why not try Inspire. And also, fourth probably is it's subscription based. No, so you don't need to invest a lot. You just have to pay for subscription, and that's it. You can start your business right away. Well, actually, before last year, I also had a small business. I had a shawarma stand, two shawarma
Oh.
stands in at two LRT stations. So
Mm.
when I put up that business, I invested a lot of money, a lot of capital. You have to pay for franchising fee. You have to pay for the construction of a cart, and then
Yes.
after that, you have to pay for 12 months security or advance deposit for the rent. Then after
Yes.
that, you have monthly overhead for rent, for payment of
Mm.
salaries. It's not easy to start a business. So with Inspire, you only pay 8,000 pesos, no investment, no capital investment requirement. You just
Mm-mm.
pay for a monthly subscription. Well, that monthly subscription, I consider it as similar to rent. No, if you're opening a store, you need to rent a space. And where can
Mm-mm.
you find a space that's renting only for 8,000 pesos? So that's my mindset.
Nice. Yeah.
Because,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, just to add to that, papala, the space that I was renting at the LRT station before, it was only 4 square meters. And I was paying like 25,000 pesos for that space every month.
What?
Yes. It was very
25,000 for a
expensive
square meter?
for a 4 square meter space. And then you can't just leave right away. If you tell
Mm.
yourself it's not working, then your
Cancel.
12 months advance deposit will be forfeited. Now with dropshipping, it's subscription based. You can come in anytime, can leave anytime you want.
Mm.
So those are the reasons why I still tried Inspire.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Sir June. Nice. So you're still with other dropshipping company, yet
Yes.
you take the risk of trying another one.
Yes. Even if I
Um,
wasn't earning for the other company, I,
uh-uh.
I joined another dropshipping company. I wanted to try different companies.
I see. Okay, but can you see the difference? Like, can you really tell like there's a difference?
Yeah. Okay, in terms of difference, the other company, of course, they're established. They have so much more SKUs out there. They have deeper inventory. With
Yeah.
Inspire, it's a little bit different. They just started their integration with Lazada 2, 3 weeks ago. So there's still some, glitches in the system. And then the
Mm.
inventory, the number of SKUs is not as much as the other. But I think most of the SKUs here are sellable. Now, another thing that I'd like to share is that with the other dropshipping company, one of the biggest in the Philippines, I've been there for 6 months. 3 months, sorry, 3 months. And in all 3 months, my end profit is negative. I couldn't cover my subscription. Now with Inspire, my store just opened 2 weeks ago. So I think 12 days to be exact. I just opened my store with Inspire 12 days ago. And to my surprise, my profit will already cover my first month of subscription for Inspire
Wow.
in just
Wow.
two
That's
weeks.
a
I hope it continues.
wow, Darwin. Hope he can.
There,
So
there should
yeah.
be there should be no reason why it doesn't. And as June mentioned, and I want people to understand, right, that when you come from a more established company, some of the things that you're probably accustomed to aren't yet 100% within our ecosystem, right? But from somebody that's in the corporate space, and I was in the corporate space, you can put it to the bank that there's going to be progress, and June is going to be with us for some time. From what I see, the work that he's putting in and the results that he's getting, we'll probably do a 3-month recap, or we'll come back in 3 months and he can kind of
Yes.
share what that progress from what Inspire is now that just started versus what it'll be in the next 3 months. So congratulations. And listen, for people that come in and think that they're going to immediately get the results that June got, I do want to kind of give people a disclosure. June has not just been sitting there. Like he didn't just open up a store, cross his arms, cross his fingers, and said, "Hey, listen, whatever happens, happens." I've seen his store. I've seen the work that he's putting in his store. So there was work that came behind, him being able to at least, I think you're break even right now within 2 weeks, right, June? Or have you already made profit?
Break even as of today.
Okay, so just 12 days in, he's already broken even on his subscription, and obviously now it's time to make money, right? Uh, so, but there was a lot that came behind that. I don't want people just to think that they're going to come in, sign up, and it's going to be the same situation that happened. If you don't put the work in, you're not going to see those results.
Yes. And I think we need to share din, Sir Jun, right? That when they subscribe, actually Inspire have like this procedure that they can pay the 4,999. Is that correct? For the store creation before you so that they can put all the items in your store, then you can edit it first, and then if you think you're ready, then that's the time you can subscribe, right? That's the
Right.
procedure.
So one of the things that I saw, Trixie, and kind of how we developed our plan of action to determine how we wanted to move forward with Inspire is we looked around and we saw what everybody's doing, which for the most part, it's kind of the same, right? But what I wanted to focus more than anything is, well, what is it that they're not doing, right? And what is the areas of opportunity that we can, fully maximize? And one of the things that I realized is that for a lot of these dropshipping companies is that once you subscribe, they give you a store. But number one, that store has products. So it's not customized. It's not like it doesn't stand out. It's just another bland store, right? With products in it. Well, if you want to stand out in the space, you're going to need like a store that's like appealing to the eye, right? Something that's a little bit more eye popping. So we wanted to be able to create, a plan where like, okay, listen, our subscription obviously is slower, but we will give you a 4,000 peso store creation, which that's what our store costs to build it. We're going to give you a banner. We're going to give you a logo. We're going to give you a frame so you can put the picture behind and you can just make your item stand out more. And we're going to give you 4 product category images, right? Whether you're in the baby category, whether you're in the tools, that's obviously already like plays a huge role when somebody goes to your store and they see like, okay, wow, this is a nice looking store, right? But we also didn't want to make that mandatory, right? Where people feel like they have to pay 4,000. So what we did is we really just gave them an option to either you can have us create it, but if you're someone that has graphic design skills and you're like, you know what, instead of me paying 4,000, I have the ability, I have Canva, I know what to do, I can build my own store. So then we bypass that and we just give you the bare store and it's up to you to design it at that point. So it really depends on your skill set and obviously your budget, which one is more friendly to you. So that's one element and one wrinkle that we wanted to maximize. The second one, which is, I don't really understand it, but to each his own, is that when on another company, it's like once you get the store, your subscription starts immediately, right? So if I just got my store today and I have a bunch of products, number one, that store is bare. So it's not gonna like be appealing to the eye. Number two, you haven't had the opportunity to work on your products, change descriptions, adjust thumbnails, do keyword research. None of that has happened. And if that takes you, let's say 3 weeks to do that, right? To like get your store. And 3 weeks, I would say is probably conservative, right? If you're spending 4 hours a day. So your first month is gone. Like you're not going to make money on it. It's like you can forget about it because you spent the first 3 weeks trying to adjust your store. So that's one thing that we wanted to separate ourselves from. So if you request the store from us and we give it to you, your subscription does not start. There's a button that says activate subscription. So once we turn the store over to you, you can take 1 week, you can take 2 weeks, you can take 6 weeks. We're not rushing you to subscribe. Whatever time frame you need to work on your store to make sure that it's the way that you want it to, once you're done, that's when you activate that subscription. And that's when your timer actually starts, which for me, that's something like that's huge for the seller, right? Like the drop shipper,
Yes.
because they don't feel like they're being rushed, right?
Mm.
Because how I look at it as a drop shipper, if I'm paying a subscription, I'm looking at, okay, well, how much money am I making daily? And if I'm not making money, that's already in the red, already in the red, already in the red. So it creates this additional pressure of like you trying to scramble around. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't do that. Like that's not the model that we want. We don't want to rush you into it. I'm not after your money. I want you to take your time, fix your store. Once you're ready, activate the
Mm.
subscription, pay the first month, and then that's when we're ready to go. So that's those are two different like elements that
Mm.
really separate us, I think, from what the standard way of drop shipping is currently for other companies.
Nice. That's very helpful, Darwin. That's why one of our students actually subscribed with Inspire. She was telling me that she added like a lot of SKUs in her store, and
Mm-hmm.
she was asking if she can already subscribe so
Mm-hmm.
it will be activated. Then I told her that just add like 30 SKUs first, edit it so that you can start immediately. Then
Mm-hmm.
adding 500, then edit all, because in um, Lazada loves additional SKUs like often, like you often adding SKUs. So that's a one
Mm-hmm.
strategy so they can drive traffic to your stores. Like there's always a new product on your store, right? So I told her it's okay. You can add 30 first, and then the next week you add five more, and the next week add
Mm-hmm.
five more, something like that.
Right.
So that's one of the strategies. You really don't need to add all 500 items. And I'm not saying that it Inspire have 500 SKUs only. It's just an example. So you can just start with a low number of SKU first. Actually, with Lazada, you can start with three. That's their requirement. You can start the store with three SKUs only. So you can
Well,
start
one of the things that I think it's really like
mm-mm,
amazing for the drop shipper and really just brings drop shipping to life is the
mm-mm.
fact that you control what goes in your store and you control what
Yeah.
goes out of your store,
Yes.
right? So let's say that that's a strategy that you want to use. Well, guess what? Let's say that you put all products there and you just
Mm.
realize that, oh, wow, there's a strategy that Trixie mentioned that if I add more products in, that can be helpful. Well, you can simply just delete those products and then import them back into your store because
Yes.
we're passing the control to the drop shipper. This is your
Yes.
store, right? Like you control what's in and what's out. So there's different ways that you can take advantage, right, of some of the
Mm.
things that Lazada likes. And if they like
Mm-mm.
new SKUs, then just add on a weekly basis whatever you feel comfortable with. It's really up to you at that point as the drop shipper.
Nice. Thank you, Darwin. So, Sir June, since we are talking about like the SKUs and the winning items, how do you choose the items on your store? Like, how do you choose your winning item? Do you have any
Okay. Yeah.
requirements or criteria?
Yeah, for the winning items, of course, there's this traditional way of finding what a winning item is. First, you look at Lazada and find out whether people are buying that product. So that's the first one. And then second, I also try to post my products on Facebook Marketplace. Although,
Mm.
as you all know, if you post your products on Facebook Marketplace, the conversion there is really low because people there, they're going to chat you if they want it right now, if they want the
Mm.
product delivered right now. So if you tell them that go to Lazada and it will take 2 to 3 days, they will leave you. But sometimes
Mm.
you get conversion also. But the good thing about posting it on Marketplace is that I get to find out which product is getting attention from Facebook users. So when I find out that this product has a lot of inquiries from users, then I edit that product in my store, update its pictures, include videos, and yeah, so that's how I do it for finding a winning product. And of course, the third one is luck, swertihan lang. You put your product in the Lazada, and then if it's a winning item, it will sell. So that's actually what
Mm.
happened to me with Inspire. As soon as my store became operational, I didn't know that this product is a winning item. So as soon as it became
Mm.
operational, orders have started to come in. So it was
I
luck.
see. For you, right? But do you also have like your like research about your target market? Do you have like any idea what kind of store you're going to build? Is it a niche store or general store, something like that?
Yeah, yeah. Because of one of the advantages of being with Inspire is that you're not restricted to a catalog. You can choose
Mm,
any product from any categories. So with that, I'm into a general store. That's what I did for Inspire.
mm-mm.
And also, I think there's also an advantage for doing that because I've heard from one of the webinars out there is that if you have a wide assortment products in different categories, then you can also join different campaigns, even if this campaign
Oh,
is
nice.
related, for example, to men's festival, women's festival, or electronics. So if you have a wide range of products in your store, that you can join all these campaigns throughout the month.
Nice. Guys, to all our viewers, take note of what Sir Jun said. If you are if you have a general store, it has an advantage, especially if you're selling through Lazada or Shopee, because this platform has like campaigns, like what he mentioned. Now we're having women's festival, men's festival, baby, mom and baby, right? Campaign. So if you have those items, you can join every time to those campaigns since you have those items on your store. So take note of that strategy when choosing products for your store. There. Okay, so and now Darwin, for example, Sir June already received an order.
Mhm.
How long will Inspire be able to process the orders?
So currently, our turnaround time depends on the volume because we obviously also have Shopify. So it's Lazada, Shopee, and Shopify. So there's three platforms with three sources of orders coming in. So we try to ship out within the next like 24 hours. So if there's an order placed today, the goal is to ship it out tomorrow.
Mm,
But if it's not, then we try to aim at maximum 48 hours, right, from the order being placed. So again, I think today we were able to pretty much ship out all the orders from yesterday from Lazada. But again, it does vary, depends on the volume from the other platforms, the staff capacity that we have on board. So 24 to 48 hours would probably be the max. And then, ideally 24 hours.
I see. Okay. And I think, Darwin, this is most common concern of the dropshippers, like the
Hmm.
inventory.
Hmm.
Most of the time, dropshippers have issues about items getting out of stock and quality issues with
Hmm.
the dropshipping companies. How does Inspire Dropshipping handle those issues?
So, two-part question. I'll address the quantity one first.
Mm-mm.
So, being that we are kind of new within the scene, like in just the drop shipping space in totality, right? We currently operate with one warehouse, and that one warehouse, it's fully maxed out at this point, which is a good thing. But it's
Mm-mm.
also a bad thing because you can't continuously expand, right? With more
Mm-mm.
products coming in and more variety, and to just get more of the items that are winning. So what the goal is within the next 3 months is we're already looking into a secondary warehouse, which is going to be roughly about 1,000 square meters. That's going to give us the space necessary to not have any of the product out of stock issues, especially for winning items, right? Like we want to make sure that those are constantly replenished. So that's one element at the moment. Can we do anything about items running out of stock? Well, there's really not, right?
Mm-mm.
Based on the fact that we didn't really understand the volume of Lazada, right? Like it's hard to forecast, like, well, how many orders come in from this platform. With Shopify, I have a very good understanding, right? Of
Mm-mm.
okay, this is what I need, and this is the time frame that I need to either bring these products in from China or reach out to one of the supplier partners that I have in the Philippines. So it has been a little bit of an adjustment period to kind of gauge like what's the right time to start ordering XYZ products. We've had certain products do run out of stock, but obviously those products are already in the process of being replenished. So that's one element. And if they runs out of stock, then the first option, instead of ordering from China, is to find a local supplier that we already work with that has the items on hand. Which for a vast majority of the items, that's probably what's going to be done, based on the fact that these are already relationships that have been harvested and the item is in the Philippines. So it's an easier thing to get it and ship it from Malabon to Valenzuela, right? Or from Cavite to Valenzuela rather than it coming from China to the Philippines, which then you're looking at about a 21 to 25-day turnaround time, right? So that's one element for the quantity aspect. For the quality, it is definitely one that has to, it requires more resources for more part, meaning for items to be thoroughly inspected, because I would be lying to you if I tell you that every single item is currently being reviewed. With the volume that we have, it just hasn't happened. And I think I've had about two people where either the item didn't really work, right? Like it was defective, like they try to turn it on and it wasn't working, or the item wasn't 100% like clean, which all of those are things that obviously we take very seriously, and I'm not going to pretend like they don't exist. So that's just kind of like the growing process of understanding, well, we have this much volume output. We need to hire XYZ more people to be able to make sure that everything, like it's not just a few people doing all of these orders. So that's one element of it. Items do get checked, but currently it would be a lie to tell you that no, every single item that gets shipped out gets like turned on and it gets connected. So that's one of the areas of opportunity that obviously needs to improve on our end. And that's just part of the growing process, of course, which is just one of the things that need to be, I guess, thoroughly looked at, and more people to be brought on board to get that done.
Okay, great. So at least we feel secured now that you are really looking into solving the out of stock issues and the quality issues. At least you have steps on how to resolve if you will if you're going to encounter one. So, Sir June, have you experienced like customer complaints, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, for customer complaints, I think that's normal naman in any dropshipping
Yes.
business. Uh, like for last week, I received two return requests from customer because when the item was shipped out, there was a defect in terms of the texture. Parang nag-crack yung item na yun during shipping. So
Okay.
they wanted to return the items. You just have to talk to the customer in a nice way. You can offer that person different options. Whether, for example, do they want to replace the item with a new one, or do they want a refund? Probably another option is just to probably send a refund to GCash, something like that. So you give them different options.
Okay. But yeah, but and based on my experience, when I also receive like a complaint when and then inspire about it, they also immediately offer solution, like just to send a new one to the customer. So all you
Yeah,
need to do is to really communicate with them and ask for solution. Don't, like what I mentioned on our first thing, don't be a war freak kind of dropshipper that if you receive a complaint from a customer, you'll get angry to inspire, right? Because there's a solution. It's just we can really solve it. Just really need to communicate, right?
And like I've told this to people that come in, right? And I'm
Mm.
you know me, Trixie. I am as straightforward and as transparent as one can be, right? I know when people are complaining just to complain, but I know when there's an issue that needs to be addressed. And as the owner and the CEO of the company, we're not running away from an issue that we have. You know, if an item is cracked, whether it was through us or through Lazada, because like people don't realize this, right? You give an item to Lazada, and Lazada becomes the courier, right? Like it
Mm.
goes through a process of, I can't control what Lazada does with an item. Like I'm not checking on them, right? And like, hey, listen, take care of the item. Like, so there are certain elements that are out of our control, but at the end of the day, it falls under our responsibility. Like I can't, I think I had a conversation with you earlier. Like, what happens if Lazada damages the item, like as they're shipping it? And you kind of gave me a solution to it. But for me, really, it's like, do I care about refunding 300 pesos back? Like, is that like, is that affecting me? Is that going to like make me lose sleep? I would rather pay that customer off, keep the item, like, keep the item. Here's your refund. Because we, that's not what we're in it for. If there's a problem, there's a solution. And really what I've told drop shippers, what you need to focus on, is not the item. Like, what is that affecting me? Is that going to like make me lose sleep? I would rather pay that customer off, keep the item. Like, we keep the item. Here's your refund. Because we, that's not what we're in it for. If there's a problem, there's a solution. And really what I've told drop shippers, what you need to focus on It's not to have this unrealistic expectation that you're going to deal with the perfect company. Because if you think that you're going to find a company that has zero problem, then you're highly mistaken. What you should be looking at is, number one, are they proactive in trying to figure out solutions to problems that you're bringing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are the problems continuously and recurring, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something, something that happened over and over and over again, you know? And are things getting better, right? So if you can say that, okay, the company is responsive, the company is providing solutions, and this is not an issue that I see as being recurring, then that's when you know you're dealing with a company that obviously has the best interest in mind, not just for them, but the clients and partners that they're dealing with, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but for people that have been in the space, we know that unfortunately, these are issues that are inevitable, and it's just part of the
True.
game. Unfortunately, you just got to kind of deal with it and just deal with it, the best way you can.
Yes, it's on how you manage or how you handle things talaga. Like Miss Net is asking like how agile they respond to dropshippers query, especially out of stock issues, quality claims, fulfillment issues. Are they easy to reach? I think Miss Net Darwin already answered this, but yeah, with my experience, yes, they are easy to reach. Actually, they will message you through SMS. They are also going to message you through email, and yeah, so their chat support on their website. Yeah. Do you have same
Or
experience?
Darwin directly.
Yeah, or Darwin directly. Yes, he's not sleeping. He's the 24/7 support of his
that's
own
that's that's
company.
that's typically the go-to chat support that people prefer to use. Just message Darwin.
But don't
Uh,
say that. They might really just go straight to you.
well, listen, that's what I told you. I'm blunt and honest. I tell people like, hey, listen, there's avenues that you can,
Mm.
follow the steps. If you absolutely need me, by all means, you know where to find me, right? But if you haven't spoken to the chat support, then do us all of a favor and just reach to the chat support. They're going to address it. But if you don't see any traction for whatever reason, which shouldn't happen, then of course you message me, things will be done pretty quickly, which I think that's why people just do it and just like, well, let me just hit him up directly because we're gonna get an immediate result, right? But yeah, I mean, it's I don't run away from it.
Yeah. Did you do that also, Sir June? Do you go straight to Darwin?
No, he's
all of
one.
my
He is. I'll give him credit. June has now reached him out to like pretty much anything, really. Like me and him have had like conversations about other things, right?
Mm.
But if like the two issues that he had, they were kind of addressed through the chat support. So I
yeah.
appreciate that, June. You're a very thoughtful person.
So you don't go straight to Darwin, Sir
I
June.
just go straight to him if I have recommendations on pricing, stuff like that.
Wow, nice. So guys, to all our viewers, this is what I want you to take note that if you have really like complaints or there's a right channel where you can raise those complaints. But like what Sir June said, if you have any recommendation, feedback, then yeah, it's good to also be involved and get in touch with the owners or the people behind the company. Like what Sir June said, he emailed, right,
Yeah,
Darwin,
because
because you have a suggestion. So
Yeah,
he's
well,
very
we
involved as well.
and then we jumped on a call, if I'm not mistaken, and we talked about it. Or was it, So I love the interaction, and I genuinely, I've told June, man, I appreciate it, but I also respect it because not many people, come to you with actual solutions to something. They typically
Yes.
come to you with a concern, but it's not a very well thought out concern, right? It's just like, hey, this is wrong or this should be better, but not really explaining how. And I remember June sent me an email kind of giving me like a detailed, well, this is why I'm telling you XYZ, and this is why XYZ makes this much sense. And I read it and I'm like, okay, I got to speak to this guy. Like we got to have so I enjoy it. I appreciate it. And I literally like the interaction. Like I don't run away from like engaging with people. I was the same way when I was managing my previous company. I'm very personal. Like I like just the process of interaction, speaking with people, and really bouncing ideas off each other. Right? June made a very very
Mhm.
good recommendation. That after
Mm-mm.
that call, we put it into effect because it just made sense. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good for people to be vocal and express ideas. You'll be surprised that those ideas do take, get considered and get implemented.
Yeah. So, to all our viewers, I think this is what I really like about Darwin and Inspire as well. Though I'm also doing drop shipping with other companies, but what I'm thankful Darwin is that he also listens to the dropshippers. Like, of course, if it's a great idea, then he will really consider it. Like, for example, we want to sell this item as well. He will really make a way for us to have that item in our store. And we really remember the curtains, right, Miss Sheena, if you're watching. And we are very happy when he said he was able to close the deal. Like, we're very
Yeah.
happy. So
And
thank
we
you,
have some of the and
Darwin.
we have some of your other product recommendations that arrive next week, right? So like that isn't the issue. I genuinely like appreciate when people tell me, and we have a feature in our app, if people don't know, which is called
Mhm.
product request. Like you can request an item that isn't in the catalog, and
Mhm.
if we see that, like, well, that's a really good item, we'll buy it, so and I the reason why I'm like that, Trixie, is because I was a drop shipper myself, right?
Mhm.
And I was on the other end of the spectrum, like trying to deal with the owners of XYZ company and just
Mhm.
realizing, like, man, these people don't listen. Like, like you got to hear your people. Like, they're the ones they're the boots on the grounds. They're the frontliners. They're the ones that are experiencing the customers and doing all of that. So not taking that in consideration, I think is just silly, for any business
Mhm.
owner, to try to operate their business. And I can say that you're the same way about your coffee. So
Ah, thank you. There. So, since we already talked about the out of stock and quality issues, so now,
mhm.
Darwin, how most of our audience now is asking, like, how fast will you be able to, produce new stocks or stock your items, like especially if it's their winning item.
Mhm. So it's some of it is within our control and another part isn't, right? So
Mm-mm.
like for example, there was a product recommendation made by Trixie and Sheena, right? And that item, was reviewed. There was ideas that were bounced around, and an order was placed, but that item wasn't shipped until the next week. And the reason being is because from the people that we have importing our products, there's ships that come to the Philippines that ship needs to be full before it actually takes off. So the vessel needs to be packed, right? And they have
Mm-mm.
certain dates. So we really, that was the first time that I did that. So now I'm aware of that. Now I'm putting in products that I'm buying based on the date of the vessel coming into the Philippines. But once it's in the vessel, then it'll take anywhere from 14 to 21 days for it to
Mm-mm.
arrive to the Philippines, after the order gets placed with our suppliers in China.
I see. So, for example, I this item is like, I consider this already my winning item, right? I can just let you know. Then, let's see if you can still restock or
Well,
replenish
you
the
won't even
item.
need to tell us. Like we see the inventory that's moving, right? Like I
Ah,
can
mm-mm.
see
True,
what's being
true.
sold versus what's not, and I can see the quantity of certain items. So that's a proactive measure that we take. We're not going to wait on you to tell us like, hey, buy more of this. If we see the item is moving, guess what? We got to buy more of this. That's just so us looking at that and realizing what needs to be bought is kind of how we're managing it. If there is like a product that again isn't in our catalog, but
Mm-mm.
it does make sense, like we did with
Mm-mm.
you ladies, then we buy it. Like it's not the end of the world. But yeah, that's a proactive measure that we're taking. It's just looking at what's moving and what's not.
Okay, nice. So now, Darwin, that we are already like on the fourth quarter, right?
Mhm.
So how Inspire Dropshipping prepares for the mega campaigns like the 10, 10, 11, 11, and 12, 12. So what
So
preparation are you taking now?
from the first 3 weeks, which we've only been up, I think this Thursday, 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
right? So based on that, it's a very short time frame for us to really formulate like an inventory, like action plan, because
Mm-hmm.
within 3 weeks, certain stores don't start to pick up until a few days, right? So it was a little difficult forecasting because I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to go crazy either, and just because a store got 3 orders like, okay, we got to get 1,000 of these, like, so it was something that we've kind of been monitoring, right? And after the second week, like certain items that June was selling, we're like, okay, wow, this looks good. Like he's moving. I think there was one day that he's got like 20 something pieces of that item sold, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Right. And then, yeah, and I think he went on like a 3-day period that he was averaging like 18 orders, 16 orders. So we're like, okay, wow, this works. We got to get more of this, right? So really just evaluating these last 3 weeks, because like what works for Shopify, unfortunately, doesn't translate to Lazada. Like we haven't seen that correlation automatically, right? Like okay, whatever's doing well in Lazada, or excuse me, Shopee will do well in Lazada, or vice versa. So there has been a little bit of a challenge, but we've been able to observe this past 3 weeks and obviously understand what's moving and place orders for those particular items. And there have been literally, I think, about 6 that we've seen like just good traction for brand new stores. When somebody just launches a store and then the next day they're getting 4 orders on an item, and then it's consistent, we see that, okay, we know what we got to do. But yeah, that's kind of how we've been managing it, because we don't have any previous data to base it on, to really say, well, we got to look at this and this tells us that. So at the beginning, it's more of a guessing game and just being patient with the results that you're getting.
Okay. So I think Sir June will be very happy to know that you are going to continuously replenish his winning items. So Sir June, Darwin already revealed that you're getting like 20 or 18 orders.
Oh, yeah.
So how are you preparing? Like how are you preparing for your quarter 4? Now, I guess you're very happy with the results you're getting now. So to continuously get those and get more sales, what preparations are you doing now?
Yeah. My store is just 10 or 12 days old. I haven't completely finished optimizing my store. So I still have to continue optimizing my store, updating pictures, thumbnails, glory kit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still in that stage. But
Do you?
but my strategy was not to wait until everything is finished. So what I did when I opened my store, I focused on probably 20 items, and then just leave all the others in that store, and then update them one by one.
Okay. So do you also do keyword research?
Yeah, I think that was also effective. So well, with Inspire, this is another comparison that I'm going to do with regard to Inspire as compared to the other dropshipping company. The other dropshipping company, their keywords were very good. So once they give you that item, it's like the keyword is okay. You don't need to edit it anymore. But for Inspire, it's different. Their keywords, they're very basic. But the good thing with Inspire is that when you look at the product information details, it's very detailed. The pictures are very nice. So you don't need to update the copyright anymore. But you have to do something with regard to the keywords, to the product description.
I'm taking note of that. Okay.
Yes. And Sir June, you need to add as well that with Inspired, they already provided a video, right, for each item, which you
Yeah,
can
that's right. That's
use.
one good thing also with Inspire. You can copy the link of the video and post it in your product details also.
Yes, yes. So because now Lazada
And yeah,
is asking for videos, right? So Inspire is providing videos also.
yeah. Now, in
Um,
terms of what I compared a while ago, for me, it's
mhm.
better to have better copyright and better pictures than to have
Yes.
better keywords, because it's more difficult to prepare a good copyright and good photos. Keywords,
True.
it's easier to update. So that's what I appreciate with Inspire.
Well, that makes me feel a little better, but I still want to. It makes me feel a tiny bit better, but I wasn't aware, and it's a good feedback. That's why I appreciate you mentioning it, because yeah, we haven't focused on the actual title, and there hasn't been a lot of work on our end. It's just like we put a few things, but it hasn't been like a more scientific way of looking at it. It's like, so of determining what we should put on the title, but it's good feedback that we'll take in great consideration, because whatever makes you guys' life easier, of course. So okay, cool, thank you.
Actually, I just realized that as well now. Like I really got his point that it's easier to, look for keywords for the product title than to prepare description and photo. So yeah, true, true. I agree. So thank you, Sir June. See, I've been doing drop shipping for like 2 years, but then I still learn from other dropshippers, like the strategies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We really have different, like what I said, journey and experiences, and it's really nice to learn from other dropshippers as well. So take note of that, guys. So there, and now Darwin, this is like a pang Miss Universe, like Miss Universe question. So I know that you are very honest. So we're going
Mm-hmm.
to ask you this question.
All
So
right.
for our viewers now, they are all of us are asking, why should we try inspire drop shipping?
Well, I think some of the things that we've already touched on can give you like a good differentiating factor, right? From the way that we give you a store, that's common, right? Basic, the way that our subscription model is based. That's also very common. And I really think it boils down to the people behind the company, that you can feel that you can trust and that have your best interest in mind. You'd be surprised how many times I go out of my way, or certain times that I may lose money. Like, I'm not, for me and Inspire and my partners. Oops, hold on. Wait. I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear that?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay. I thought because I heard it on my phone. Okay, so yeah, somebody's calling me. But I guess I'm sure what people have been able to see is that our main priority, and what you see me as Inspire, but I have two partners, two investors,
Mm.
that are behind Inspire as well, and obviously a whole team, right, of individuals. And our main priority is really to make sure that our service is top notch. Like, making money, it's not at the forefront, or really not at the top of our list. So the way that we do things, the way that we are bringing in coaches and investing, and none of that's free, right? There's a lot of things that we do, and that we're going to do to make sure that the drop shipper has the best experience, that they can go to bed at night and realize that, okay, this company that I'm working with has my best interest in mind. We're not just after the money. If we provide a great service, the money will come. That's a guarantee. And I've learned this through my years of experience of managing a company, right? Like, it's just, you got to worry about the service and not be so keen on the profits. Provide a great service, and then everything else is will be figured out. And I think that's what people can take away, is that we're that type of company. We're interested in that, and then everything else will follow.
Wow, thank you, Darwin. And I really pray that Inspire will continue to inspire and help more people, especially those aspiring dropshippers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for considering all the pain points of dropshippers and build this kind of dropshipping company that allows us, dropshippers to choose our items and be able to work on our stores on our own face.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, Sir June, this is my question. I think most of our viewers also wants to know, do you think drop shipping is profitable? And are you going to, you know, um, recommend Inspire drop shipping to other aspiring drop shippers or to our viewers, and why?
Okay, so for the first question,
Should
whether
I
drop
leave, June?
shipping. No,
June, should
it's
I
okay.
stay?
You can
Yeah,
stay.
cover your ears.
You can stay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so for the first question, whether dropshipping is going to be a successful business. To be honest, I don't know, because as I've said, I'm still struggling with the other store and with Inspire. Although I made money for the first 2 weeks, I don't know if it will be sustained because it's too early to tell. But
Mhm.
what I can say is that I think it's worth trying, because the opportunity, the potential is high. If you win big. If you lose some money, but at least you gain experience, you gain knowledge, which you can use for whatever you do in the future, whether it's related to e-commerce or a physical store, I think you can bring that with you.
Nice. And Sir June, right? I think Inspire kasi they also have this coaching session, right? With Darwin and Sheena's having coaching sessions for Inspire dropshippers. So they're really helping their dropshippers to really earn. It's not just you subscribe with us, then it's all up to you. Goodbye, like that.
Mhm.
So they're also really helping dropshippers to really have goals to get their ROIs, right? So have you attended that session, Sir June?
No, not yet. With Inspire,
Not
not
yet.
yet. But I
Not yet.
attended
I mean, why would he?
your
He's making
mentorship
money.
program.
Like the guy's making money. He's like, what? I don't need coaching. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but how often you're going to have that coaching, Darwin?
So our coachings are going to be on a weekly basis. Every
Oh.
single week, we're working on a report that is
Mhm.
going to be able to be extracted from the system for the drop shipper, which is going to kind of give you like a summary of orders per day, return of investment, like a more detailed type of report. And
Mhm.
that's kind of the action plan that Sheena and I are going to have on a weekly basis. Is just to really do store audits, right, and check, are people actually making the work necessary? What's the quota? Like actual put targets in place, because the
Mhm.
problem is when people start, they don't have targets. They're just kind of roaming through it, right, with no sense of direction. So we know some people will figure it out, like June and other drop shippers that are in our platform that have just figured things out on their own. But we also
Mhm.
understand that there's so many new people coming in that there's really no sense of direction as to, okay, well, what do I do after? Like what happens after week one? Well, what do I do
Mhm.
on week two? And just monitoring that progress, right, and having somebody that they can lean on, and that person not being me, because I'm not the Lazada expert, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
person being someone that has been in the space, and we've talked about yourself and Sheena, just people that can help individuals just get better, right?
Yes.
And understand what to work on. So that's going to be on a weekly basis every Saturday, where it's just us kind of putting checkpoints in place and monitoring. And these are going to be in group settings, but they're also going to be in one-on-one settings, right? Where
Nice.
Sheena's going to pull you out individually, because sometimes that could be the most effective way to kind of get your
Mm.
message across to someone rather than putting them in a public, in a public setting. Then it's just, there's going to be different ways, but it's going to be very systematic,
Mhm.
and really just kind of guide them through the overall process until they feel that they don't have to join anymore, because I got it figured out. But at the
Mhm.
first few months, I think it's crucial that they have guidance that to kind of help them through.
True. Because most of newbies in dropshipping, they really need guide. They're
Mhm.
like they also need a push. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's happening to your store? Are you really editing your store? Because most of our dropshippers, when you say edit, they just edit it, just put logo on their photos, edit by increasing the price. That's it. But
Yep.
not really strategically, right? Because there's
Exactly.
a strategic way of optimizing your stores. Yeah, there.
But it's
Okay.
it's really past that as well, Trixie. Like I've told
Mm-hmm.
people, and I've mentioned it. Like if you're not working on your store,
Uh-huh.
like you will be kicked out of the program. Like your 7,000
Oh.
pesos isn't, like, I'm not interested in just taking your 7,000. You do this for a month. You didn't do any work on your store, or you do this for 2 months, whatever that time frame is. You do nothing on your store, but then you leave saying, well, drop shipping doesn't work. Well, no shit, Sherlock. You did nothing. Like what are you expecting, right? So people
True.
like that are really people that we're trying to immediately identify and just remove them. If I got to give you a reimbursement for you to just leave, I'm more than
Mm-hmm.
happy to do so. But I really want to be able to bring people on board that understand the responsibility that comes with starting your
Mm-hmm.
business. Because I think that just resonates and that just translates to the type of business that we're trying to operate, right? So that's
Yeah.
one main thing that people should be mindful of when joining it. Like I don't, again, it's not just your 7,000 as a subscription. I want people that are willing to try and work.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very good practice. Like it will how to say, like discipline to the drop shippers. Like
Mhm.
they really need to work on their stores, it's not that it's not just they're going to subscribe and then, oh, I'll just work with my stores tomorrow, because when they subscribe, they need to think that they really need to get results,
Right.
right? They really need to work for their store so they can get the results that they want. So it's not like I subscribe today and then wait for the orders to come, and wait for 7 figures. It's not going to happen.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. So Sir June, Miss Wang has a question. Like I no, this is for Darwin, sorry. Where do you source your products?
So it really varies on the items. We have local suppliers for some items, but a vast majority of them are coming from China. And we have product research methods that we've utilized, that I've kind of mastered over the course of my Shopify experience
Mm-hmm.
to really kind of get a pulse of what's working. And I have different tools and softwares that I use, which if you were a previous student of mine in Shopify, I give them access 100% free to these platforms, which are paid, by the way, but that doesn't hurt me at all to give it to them. But what I look for is certain items that, like I think June mentioned, is that are not common, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that have a certain unique factor to them, but also items that solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what we try to aim for when bringing products on board. Something that's unique. And there's like a 5-step guide that I have and what I teach people, right? When looking for items, and we do the same thing when we're buying items, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you guys got to keep in mind is we're taking on the risk of buying this inventory.
Mm-hmm.
If we buy the inventory and it doesn't sell, then guess what? We got a whole bunch of items that are just going to sit there. So it's in our best interest to make sure that we're sourcing items, which whether it be from local suppliers or from China, but making sure that they resonate with the culture. Because I'm not Filipino, so sometimes I may think of items that are really good for the international market, but don't really resonate to the Philippines.
Philippines.
So that's something that I've learned over time, and making sure that there's uniqueness, there's a wow factor, they solve a problem, and I think if you can get that formula down, then the products that you sell should really stand out. So that's kind of the way that we source it and where we're sourcing them from.
Okay, thank you. And then Miss Wang also have a question for Sir June. How many SKUs did you subscribe?
So yeah. I think around currently I have 300 SKUs from Inspire.
Mm-mm. So do you think that's enough naman, right?
No, I want more.
I want more. You
Yeah.
want more. Okay. So 300 SKUs. Great. There. And here, where can we see the products? I just visit your website.
Okay. So should I share my screen, Trixie? Because I know that
Oh,
was something
sure,
that.
sure, sure. You can
Okay.
share. Okay, guys. Let Darwin share their website and how to navigate it as well. So there.
Okay. Can you
Okay,
guys see
there.
my screen?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Okay, awesome. So here, what we have, and I'm just going to kind of give you guys a quick run through. I don't want to bore you to death with all of these options, but obviously here is where we have the actual dashboard, which is pretty much what the dropshipper is going to see. But if you want to subscribe to the page, or if you want to see the products that are listed, and it's not all of the products as we've updated them, you can just go to inspiredropshipping.com. Again, inspiredropshipping.com, and just go to this blue button that says create pre-user dashboard. So it's going to ask you for an email and a password. Once you go through that, it is going to bring you to this. Okay. And again, this is a pre-user dashboard. This is not the user dashboard or the actual dashboard. It is a pre-user dashboard. And the whole purpose of this is really just to kind of give you some information, whether, you want to see the product catalog within or platform, whether you want to subscribe for Shopify. We have videos for that. If you're a Lazada or Shopee seller, there's a process with payment amounts and everything else that you need. For Messenger and WooCommerce, that's still, currently in pending status. We have free courses. If you're a Shopify user, there is about 18 hours of content here that you can easily always come and check it out. So again, go to the website, create a pre-user dashboard, and this is the pre-user dashboard here. Look at the products. Once you're ready to subscribe, just browse through, get an idea of what we have. And if you're Shopify or Lazada, you can kind of go from there.
Okay, there you go. And again, that's for free, guys. There's no fee for registration. So if you want to see the products, it's free. So you can just register. And then
this would be free. Also, the dashboard, like to be able to get access to this will be free. So if you're here, for example, and you're like, you know what, I want Lazada and Shopee, you would just simply click. Oh, I don't know why that's not working here. That's weird, but it's going to take you to this here, to the sign up for this aspect. And once you're here, just go through the onboarding process. You'll be approved within 24 hours. And there are, tutorials to kind of help you guide, or this is the Shopify. These are tutorials to help you guide, how to create an account, how to create a store, things of that nature. So everything is pretty much within the dashboard or the pre-user dashboard that you can find on the website.
I guess it's time for you to share the story behind the Shopee and Shopify, because you just
yes. Well, also I have some significant updates for you guys that I've been reserving for the very end. I know that I spoke to June about this because I wanted to get the feel from a dropshipper's perspective, what he thought of the rollouts that we're going to have. But so I guess the story is that somebody went to our pre-user dashboard, and for whatever reason, there's 18 hours of content, which is for Shopify. Like, you guys got to remember this. That course, which again is 18 hours plus, it's for Shopify, not Shopee. So I had a person that went through the full 18 hours, okay, reaches out to me and then asking me, well, how am I going to integrate my Shopee account to the actual dashboard? He's like, I've went through your whole course, and I was confused. I was like, what is he talking about? He's like, yeah, I need to connect my business manager to my Shopee. I'm like, bro, what? And he's like, yes, I've watched your full course already. And I'm like, okay, hold up. Are you interested in Shopee or Shopify? He's like, no, Shopee. I'm like, bro, you just watched 18 hours of Shopify. And he was like, huh? I'm like, yeah, like literally I mentioned Shopify like 1 trillion times in those 18 hours, right? So the story was he watched the full Shopify course thinking that it was for Shopee, but it was, the takeaway is that he knows how to do Shopify dropshipping at this point. He didn't even want to learn, but now he learned,
So did he subscribe using Shopify or continue with Shopee?
He pursued Shopee.
Okay, I thought he became a Shopify dropshipper. So no.
No.
Okay,
He went on with Shopee.
So guys, if you're going to watch videos, please read carefully what videos are you going to watch, okay? So baka you're also watching the Shopify video, so please read carefully.
Right.
There. So
and I guess should I give you the announcements now, Trixie, or
I think there's one more question, like regarding the DTI or BIR. So guys, you don't need to be a DTI or BIR registered to subscribe with Inspire. You don't need that documents, right?
Yep.
So how do you manage the taxes? Because I think in other dropshipping companies, we are paying 5% for the taxes.
Yes, they're doing the filing for you. So that's a service that we're going to have by the end of the year, which it is going to be lower than 5% for us to be able to file it for you. But that is not, right now, if you do report your taxes, you will have to do that individually at the moment. So if you're someone that has your store registered, and you need to be able to present, obviously, the taxes that you're paying for your certain products, you will have to do that individually. But by the end of the year, that's a service that will be provided through our platform that you can avail it or you cannot avail it. That'll be your own discretionary call at that point.
Yeah, but I think what Darwin is trying to say as well is that, for example, you choose Lazada as your platform. Lazada has cooperative, the microseller cooperative. So all
Yeah.
we need to do is to join the cooperative, attend their webinar. So
Mhm.
we're just going to pay the 1%. So
Yeah, of course.
it's not the 5% tax like the other companies. So we're going to pay our Lazada cooperative for that.
Yep, it's 2.4% plus the 1%. It'll come out to
Yes.
3.4 at the end.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're clear on that. So with Inspire, we are the one who's going to file our cooperative membership, because in other dropshipping companies we don't need to do that, because it's the dropshipping companies who's paying for the taxes for us.
Mhm.
But with Inspire, it is the dropshippers' responsibility to attend the microsellers cooperative. Same with, I think, Shopee. So I'm
Mhm.
not really familiar with Shopee, but with Lazada, that's how it goes there.
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, Darwin, I think you have a surprise with our
Well,
reviewers.
I don't know if it's a surprise, but it's some updates that have been
Mhm.
highly requested. And
Hmm.
as I told you, Trixie, I am always looking at the landscape of the market and trying to figure out what it is that we can do that is a necessity within the space,
Mhm.
and that can provide value for our partners, of course. So the first thing, because it's kind of three things, right, that are going to be rolled out by the second week of next month. The first thing is that we are going to create a bundle package for somebody that wants to sell on both Lazada and Shopee. Okay,
Ooh.
that bundle package is going to be an amount of 9,999 for both platforms. Okay. So
Platforms.
that'll you will have access to the Lazada marketplace and you will have access to the Shopee marketplace. If you are
Wow.
someone that is already like within the Lazada platform, right, then obviously your upgrade, if you're paying like June, for example, he's under the automated order processing. So he ends up paying, let's just round it up to 8,000 pesos, right? Because it's 7,999. Well, all he will need to do is pay an additional 2,000, and then he will have access to the
The
Shopee
Shopee.
marketplace, right?
Mm.
So that is a bundle package that, again, it's not offered anywhere else, and we wanted to make sure that we were the kind of the pioneers of giving you both options as one if you wanted to avail it. The number two is that we are going to be allowing sellers. This has been a question that I've been asked quite frequently, is people that have their own products but may only have 3 or 4 items on hand, or there's
Mm.
someone that makes their own like work, right?
Yes.
um can we put your or products in the platform? Well, by next month, if you are somebody that has products, you are going to be able to upload them into your Lazada store, okay, that we
Mm.
provide you. Now, you are going to be the one responsible for packing and dropping that off to Lazada, okay, because we don't have the inventory, you do, right? But it will create an opportunity when you have already a store with 300 SKUs to be able to incorporate yours in it and maybe create your own catalog, or however you want to kind of navigate through that. You will have the ability to now sell your products in the store that we're giving you, right? So that's, I guess, the second update that will be rolled out on the second week of next month as well. Okay. And really, I would probably say, besides the bundle pack, but another one that has been like a question that I had, because as you know, Trixie, I am a, ads person. Like that's how I started my journey, and
Yes.
honestly, if people ask me now, like, what should I do? Should I do Lazada or should I do Facebook ads? I mean,
Mm-mm.
I'm a little biased, I'm like, dude,
Shopify.
Facebook, yeah, Shopify, like that's where my heart is. But obviously, it all depends on the person, right? But let's say that you're one that wants to have your Lazada shop, okay? But you also want to be able to run ads, okay, to your Lazada shop.
Mm.
Now, there's a huge problem with this, okay? Is that if you're running ads on Facebook, you can't tell Facebook to only show your ads to people that have a Lazada account.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Like there's just no ability to do that. And what's the biggest problem is that if you run ads and that person is interested in buying your product, but doesn't have a Lazada account, then you can't get that customer. Like it's just a lost customer, right?
Yes, yes.
Unless you can convince them to create a Lazada account, right? Which
Yeah.
the probabilities of that is not very high. Like how many people are going to take the time to create an account and go through the whole process and then make a purchase? I would probably say there's a slim chance of that potentially happening. So that's kind of like the obstacle that
Mm-hmm.
people have now. And for those that don't know, which you may be saying, well, why don't you just process the order for your customer? Just use your own Lazada account. Well, unfortunately, that is prohibited by Lazada. Like
True.
you can't process orders for people, right? Like it's your account, you need to process your orders. So that's a huge obstacle, which we're going to be addressing again by the second week of next month. So if you're running ads, okay, and that person tells you, well, June, I don't have a Lazada account. Well, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to create an order, okay? And can I just share my screen really quick because I think it's probably going to be
Sure.
best to show people how it works.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
All right. So you guys see my screen, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is the dashboard of a Lazada dropshipper, right? So when an order is being created, there's a button here that says create new order. And what happens is if you are someone that is under the manual order processing, then you're the ones that you grab the information from the Lazada center and you drop it here, right? Pretty straightforward. You enter the order number and you select the product, right, that you got in your Lazada. Once you do
Mm.
that, you create an order and you're pretty much done. So that's kind of like the order creation process from Lazada. Now, if you're under automated, then someone's doing this for you, like June, for example. Like our team is the one that processes his orders. Now, there's going to be a drop down here, somewhere here. Like I don't know where exactly yet, but somewhere here, where if you are doing, let's say, Lazada creation or Shopee, then you're going to have a drop down and it's going to say Lazada and you're going to enter the details. If you're doing your own fulfillment, then you're going to do self fulfill. Then you're going to select the option under self fulfill. Or let's say, for example, you're running ads and that person says, I don't have a Lazada account and I don't want to create it. That's too complicated. Never mind. Well, you are going to be able to create an order and you're going to be able to put it under Inspire Fulfillment. And what's going to
Mm.
happen is that Inspire is going to process that order for you, but not through Lazada. And we're going to ship it through the couriers that we already have relationships with, which that
Mm-hmm.
is, J&T, that is Via Heroes, right? So what it does is it creates the opportunity for you to be able to use ads, but assure that you're not going to lose that customer because they don't have a Lazada account, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it just creates just this opportunity for people to run traffic, optimize your store, make sure that they're buying on Lazada. That'll be your preferred option, right? That they're buying through your Lazada platform. So your store can just continuously optimize and optimize because you're pushing more traffic to it. But if they don't, then obviously you select Inspire Fulfillment. We're going to still pack it, we're going to still ship it, but it's going to be sent over through with our courier J&T, for example, right?
Mm-mm.
And then we're going to pay you out in a different SOA. There's going to be a different statement of account for the Inspire Fulfillment. That way you can separate both and not be kind
Mm-hmm.
of like everything isn't kind of like jumbled up into one statement of account. So those are the kind of the things that we've been working on, and we've been kind of figuring out all the little wrinkles behind it, but they are going to be into effect next month for people that are interested in self-fulfillment or running ads and using Inspire Fulfillment outside of Lazada or Shopee.
Nice. There's a lot of new updates. Like
Yeah.
really looking forward to those new features. So you mentioned that we can already add our products in our Inspire store, right? But I
Mhm.
think one of our viewers is asking if since they can put their items in the Inspire store, what if I
Mhm.
want you to fulfill my own products as well? Can we also do that? Like maybe ship our items to your warehouse.
Yep.
and let
So we
people
already offer that. That's called being a supplier, right? Or
ah
using Inspire Fulfillment, right? So if you're going to be using us as your fulfillment center, that's like a completely separate contract because that requires your products to come to us, right? So it's you're not a drop shipper in a sense. You are someone that's using us as your fulfillment center. So there's an additional agreement that you have to sign off
mm-hmm.
with different terms, obviously, right? If you're sending us broken items or things of that sort, we're not responsible for them. They have to go through the quality check to make sure that what we're getting is correct and everything else. But there is a warehousing fee, right?
Yeah.
Because we are putting your products in our warehouse. They are going to be occupying space. How much
Mm-hmm.
space? Obviously, it all varies. I did have one supplier that had about 300 square meters of products, right? Obviously, we can't do that for free because you're taking up pretty much the whole warehouse, right? So there is a small fee, which is really, when it comes to like different warehousing fees, it's by far the lowest that I've come across. And I tell you that it's the lowest, and I'm 100% sure, is because I had our VAs reach out to about 20 different companies that provide fulfillment, and I got their rates. And then whatever their rate was, I said, I want to be half, lower than what everybody else is offering.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to have to worry about the rates, but obviously there is an additional fee and a
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment fee if we're using that service.
I see. So if you want to know more about the rates, maybe you can just reach out to Inspire,
Yep, you can send us an
support.
email at info@inspiredropshipping.com. Again,
Mm-hmm.
info@inspiredropshipping.com. And obviously somebody will be able to answer all of your questions there about this particular service.
Okay, great. So, message na lang kayo, guys. And so, Sir June, since you are now a dropshipper with two dropshipping companies, do you still consider to having your own store, like own products, you know?
Yes, later on, well, I consider dropshipping as a starting point only to enter
Mm-hmm.
into e-commerce. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to learn as much as possible in this space. And then
Mm-hmm.
eventually, I like you, Miss Trixie. I'd like to have my own brand also in the future. Like, for example, yours, you have your coffee brand, right? So I want
Mm-hmm.
to do something like that in the future. But for now, for venturing into something with capital needed, I want to try something quick and easy and learn from it. That's why I
Wow,
joined
yes.
dropshipping.
True. Yun. So, we're going to wait for your own brand, Sir June.
Coming soon.
So, yes, coming
Not
soon.
soon. I haven't thought
Not
about
really
it yet.
soon. Okay. So there you go. So before we really end this, I really want to keep you guys, but I know you're very busy and we're going to have this session for almost 2 hours now. So before we end, do you have any last message or advice, tips to our viewers who wants to venture with drop shipping? Let's go with Darwin first.
Well, what I would tell people is that they're interested is obviously understanding what they're getting themselves into. I know that you asked June, is drop shipping profitable? Obviously, he hasn't had the experience yet to give you guys a definitive answer. That's something that I can give you, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I've had that experience. I left a multi-million paying job yearly for drop shipping, right? I found great success and I found that there's a lot more potential. So, can you make a business out of it? Of course you can, right? Again, how many
Mm-hmm.
people leave an executive role to focus on drop shipping if it doesn't work, right? So it does work. It's just, are you willing to learn? And really, what I tell people is, are you obsessed with being an entrepreneur, right? Are you obsessed with like building your own business? Because if you're just interested, if you just like, I want to, then you're probably not going to find great success because that's not going to drive you every single day. Like you have to be just fascinated and obsessed with just starting your business and making sure that you don't want to fail. And if you have that type of mentality, then it kind of helps you through those rough days where you're not feeling the best and you're struggling and things don't seem like they're going to be easy. That fire just kind of helps you overcome those days and just you turn the page and you take every single day at a time and you just keep pushing forward. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be in the space, understand what you're getting into, and ask yourself, do I really want this, or is this just something that I've seen on a YouTube page, on a YouTube channel? Like the results got me going a little bit, but that little feeling wears off, very quickly, and it's most especially as you face adversity.
Mm-hmm.
That little motivation and that little feeling that you got by seeing that screenshot evaporates very, very fast when you start to realize, like, oh crap, like this is actually running a business, and like this is takes time and effort, and I have to put work into it. So understand what you're getting yourself into, but it is an amazing industry. As long as you're hungry and you're determined, you're bound for success. So that's pretty much what I will tell anybody that's considering it. Do a self-evaluation and then determine if you're ready or not.
Oh, thank you, Darwin. Guys, you really need to take note of that. Like what I'm telling you since day one, wanting drop shipping or being interested in drop shipping is different from being decided to do this business. Because if you are really decided to do this business, you're going to do whatever it takes for this kind of business model. It's different. I want to do drop shipping. Oh, Miss Trixie, I'm interested doing Inspire. Guys, it's different. Like you're just interested, but you're not decided yet. It's really total different. So you really need to you really need to decide. That's why we're having this drop shipping series for you to decide and not just wanting it and being interested in joining drop shipping jungle. I call it jungle.
It is a jungle at this point. I would agree with that.
Yes. So there. So Sir June, how about you? What can you say to our viewers who wants to join Inspire, or who wants to venture with drop shipping, but they're still scared, or they're still doubting about the profitability of this business model?
Yeah, like what Darwin mentioned a while ago, we have to understand first what dropshipping is all about. It's not easy money. It's not a no effort thing. Just open your store and money will come. It's not like that. It's also not 100% money back guarantee. There's risk in running any business. It's possible that you succeed. It's possible that you lose. It's important that you understand what you're getting yourself into before you jump into dropshipping. But personally, I think there's high potential. It's not guaranteed, but there's potential in dropshipping. Whether that's true or not, for me, I don't know yet. We'll find out soon.
Yeah, there. And Sir June, you know what? I'm really praying that you will get your result this time. I'm not really sure if you're still going to continue doing the draft shipping and the other company, but
Yeah, I'm
I'm really
continuing
praying
actually.
that wow.
Until
So
January, I'm subscribed until January with with the other company.
okay. So maybe let's just hope that whatever results you're getting with Inspire is that you're going to get it also in the other dropshipping company, right?
Yeah,
Let's see. Balitaan mo kami. Just let
sure.
us know, keep us updated. And I thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey. And I guess a lot of our viewers learned a lot from you today, that even that you are a newbie or struggling with dropshipping with the other company, you're still, continuously
Fighting.
working,
Laban.
yes, finding and continuously working with your stores. Because Darwin and June, right? Sir June, most of the dropshippers, they easily give up like after a month or two. And it's very rare that drop shippers continue with the drop shipping for like 3, 4, 6 months. It's very rare. So congratulations.
It drives me nuts, Trixie. And not it's just the expectation of people.
Mhm.
We live in a world that it's instant gratification, right? Like everything that we do, right? Like it's instant. If you want food, order it on an app and you're going to get it within 20 minutes, right? If you want XYZ, order it from here and you get like everything. Like our brain has been programmed for instant gratification. And when we
Mhm.
go into something and those results don't happen as fast as we would like, the first thing that comes into mind is that, oh, it's a scam. It doesn't work. Like this is like that's literally what I hear from people. And when you open up the hood to see, well, what did you really do? Like, okay, what did you do? And they're like, oh, well, okay, well, of course you didn't get the results. Smart one, like you didn't do anything. Like that's what kills me, right? Where people talk down on the business model when they put very little effort, or maybe they just weren't with the right setup, right? There's so many variables, but it's just there's a lot that goes to it. And at the end of the day, it's just you don't fail until you stop trying, right? Like once,
Mhm.
like that's when you failed, when you quit, right? That's when you can officially say you have failed at this. But when you deal with adversity, it's just getting through it, and just figuring it out, like what is working, what is not, making adjustments, and going from there. So
Yeah, I'm really learning a lot today. And guys, thank you for joining me this afternoon.
I
Almost two
appreciate it.
hours session.
Yes,
And
my God, my neck is hurting. I need a cup of coffee. Like it's been a long one, but it's been a pleasure, Trixie, to Six Figures community, to smart mompreneurs. Thank you for the time that you've given us over the last 2 hours. It's been a pretty intensive one. Hopefully, I'm able to interact with some of you guys personally if you're interested in joining, or whatever platform you decide to be able to go for. There's a ton of options for you. Make sure you pick the right one. And I wish everybody success. And if you ever need anything, most people should know where to find me, and I'm always here. So.
thank you, Darwin. And thank you, Sir June. Thank you, Sir June, for joining us tonight. So,
Thank you.
everyone, for our 60 viewers, wow, 60 viewers as of this moment. Thank you
2
for
hours.
joining us tonight. Yeah, for 2 hours. We really hope that you really learned a lot. And stay tuned until tomorrow. So, we will have Bilis Benta tomorrow, and we another dropshipper who will share their experience with Bilis Benta. So today, we really learned a lot from Inspire Dropshipping. So take note and get your checklist na. So let's see. And for those interested to join Inspire Dropshipping, so Darwin already shared their website, and you can just message them and join their Facebook group. What's the name of the group? Inspire
Inspire Dropshipping Philippines.
right there.
That is our private community. Yeah.
Okay, there. So you can also join their group community. There's a lot of people sharing their experiences there, so may want to read it. But of course,
Oh,
guys, I always remind you to filter
mhm.
everything what you're going to read. Not everything you read is,
Oh, I do have a shameless plug, Trixie.
okay.
Uh, we have a pretty interesting webinar this Saturday.
Ah,
It's one that's been at very high demand. It is Shopify versus Lazada dropshipping. Um,
oh.
and it is going to be it's kind of like a boxing theme, like it's just two, yeah, that's the theme, and we're doing, yeah, like it's pretty interesting how we put it together. But it is going to be me defending Shopify, as it wouldn't feel right if I don't, versus Sheena. Okay,
Oh my God, I
so
really want to watch that.
Sheena will be defending the pride of Lazada, trying to convince people why Lazada is better. And now we'll be defending the pride of Shopify as to why I think Shopify is better, which is going to be at 8 p.m. So if you want to see that epic showdown, I highly suggest that you either go to a
Yeah.
group or go to the Inspire Solutions page. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Guys, it's a must-watch webinar. Shopify versus Lazada or Shopee.
Sheena's going down. Like I'm taking her out. I'm taking her out, Trixie. Give me 3 rounds. She's KO.
Oh my God, Sheena, are you watching? This is recorded, so I will let Sheena know about it. So there, we're going to watch that for sure. I really want to know then about Shopify, because I'm not really Sheena and I are like the organic. Don't panic. It's
Don't
organic
panic. It's okay.
home. you
I'm,
know.
I'm, I'm, I'm gonna have to do some of the guerrilla recruitment. Just start bringing you ladies in. But it should be fun though. But again, appreciate the time, Trixie. It's been a long one. June,
Yes.
sir, we'll be in contact.
Yes. Thank
Everybody else, have
you.
a great rest of your evening. So take care.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Take care and God bless. Good night.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. See you tomorrow.